finding that first million. I'm a world expert in podcasting. That's because we've sought out our genius and grown that.
Welcome to Unstoppable Podcast with Harry Sardinas, inspiring conversations with influential millionaires, investors, thought leaders, entrepreneurs who are making a massive difference with their innovative products and services, and sharing the challenges and wisdom of how they sold their first million.
So, Chris, now let's talk a little bit more about your journey. Why you decided to become an entrepreneur? What happened there? Do you anybody in your family is an entrepreneur? Do you read a book by accident? What happened?
Yeah, actually, growing up, my father worked for the largest stained glass studio in the country. He was one of the foremen. He ran the whole southern U.S. He was in charge of. And when I was a kid, he broke off from that company, started his own company. So I got to see entrepreneurship, up close and personal. And I saw all the lessons he learned along the way, going from being an employee to being a boss. And then he kept leveraging it as I grew up, and he would add more businesses. He did ultralight airplanes. He did those for a while, and just because it was a passion, and he made money at it. And so I saw, by the time I was in junior high school or middle school, I saw, wow, this entrepreneurial life is the way to go. What they teach you in schools, they teach you to be an employee, and they teach you not to think and not to be creative. But as an entrepreneur, it explores your superpower, your genius. You had mentioned that, you are now a world expert in what you do in finding that first million. I'm a world expert in podcasting. That's because we've sought out our genius and grown that. And so I saw that when I was in middle school. I started my first business. It was taking broken down bicycles, fixing them up, repainting them, and selling them. And that was my first business. And I made a lot of money for a little kid. And I tell people I have been gainfully unemployed my entire life.
So how was the reaction of your family and friends when they decided that you never gonna have a job, that you're gonna be your own boss? What your parents and friends said?
Yeah, my mother was confused by it all. She didn't understand any of it. But my father,
she's asking you, can you make money out of this?
Yeah.
How you gonna live? How are you gonna find your money, right?
Right. That's all. She was like, you should get a job. And my father, he understood it, but he wanted me to go into his industry and wanted me to be in his business. And I would find things in his business that, computers were just coming out when I was in high school. And I said, we should computerize your mailing system. And again, he didn't want to see that. So I said, look, I'm doing my own business. I'm happy to help you. In fact, I did. I worked as an artist in his business, drawing the actual windows for church windows. So I did the artwork in about 200 churches around the United States. But I couldn't see a future in that business for me because it wasn't enough technology for me. But yeah, my father didn't understand it, but he understood entrepreneurship, so he was 100% behind me all the way.
So then, Chris, what are when you there is a problem with the industry out there that you talk about having a business, right? Because it's all about talking to strangers. And when we are kids, our parents are telling us, don't talk to strangers, don't talk to strangers. And now you're in business. all you have to do is talk to strangers. So imagine, you see, we've been raised. I mean, our parents are they doing the best they
Yeah.
can. But if you are a kid and you see a stranger and you want to talk to it, your parent will come and tell you, hey, don't do that. Don't talk to a stranger. This is bad. Never do that again. Yeah. So now we all have in our unconscious mind that fear of public speaking, that fear of
Yeah.
talk with the strangers, because it came from the people that we love the most, and it's embedded so hard in our unconscious mind that we don't even know that it's there. But now, and after that, then we want to do a podcast. We want to do a business, and now
Yeah.
talking to strangers is good. We have to embrace talking to strangers. So,
Yeah.
what do you think that the fear of public speaking, which is the biggest fear that a human being can have, there are a lot of surveys that demonstrate that. So, how you overcome your fear of public speaking, because going a podcast is clearly public speaking,
Yeah.
and how you overcome your own fear of talking to strangers, because I think that a large percentage of the population. I do this for a living. I reach over 1 million people online, teaching them talking about how to overcome the fear of public speaking. Over 10,000 people in live events. So how you remove this fear from yourself, uh, whether talking to clients or doing the podcast, we're talking with the strangers all the time, and what you recommend for other entrepreneurs out there, like somebody who might come to you and say, Chris, I want to do a podcast, but
Sure.
they have this fear. They don't even want to tell to you that they have it, but we all have it. So how you did it, and what advice you have for others that this is the only thing that is stopping them to go for it.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because that's something that does come up a lot. As far as my story of how that happened, I was the third of four kids, and my older brothers got a lot of attention. My younger sister got a lot of attention. I was the one that never got any attention. In fact, people didn't even know if I was in the room half the time. So, uh, so I found I needed to be heard. I had this need to be heard. So when I got into um, high school, I went into debate, I went into acting, I went into all kinds of ways to be heard. Uh, and then so podcasting was not a hard thing for me at all. I mean, like I said, I was doing internet radio before podcasting started, just because uh, something somebody said a long time ago has stuck with me forever that says, look, when you're talking to somebody else, I don't care if they're Elon Musk, Donald Trump, or the King of Spain or whatever. They're people. They're just people. They still put on their pants the same way, and they still brush their teeth at night. They're just people. And once you realize that, you should have no fear of talking to anybody. You make millionaires happen. You could be an intimidating person to talk to that people go, oh wow, I've never made $1 million. Why would he want to talk to me? You're just a person, right? You're a person with a particular set of skills,
Absolutely, absolutely.
but you're definitely a person. And that's what I tell people. It's like, look, everybody has a story to tell. Everybody has an amazing story. And you need to be brave enough to tell your story because people will respond.
Chris, but let's face it, how about your clients? You have these clients, I know you have them that, they start to work with you and eventually they quit. I mean, you gave us the statistic, yeah,
Yeah.
that high percentage of people quit the podcasting, yeah, and they can tell you where I don't have the money, where I don't have this, I don't have that, but we know that is that fear. We know is this fear about what people are gonna think about me.
Mhm.
Is about the fear of rejection. It's about the fear of what people are gonna think about me. If you think this podcast by now, you should realize English is not my first language, and 1 out of 10 words that I say have spelling mistake or mispronounced. Yeah, my girlfriend, she's a philologist, so every time that I do conference all over the world about public speaking, by the way. So I become a public speaking coach without knowing how to speak. Yeah, and apparently people like it. And which I think I don't understand why, but they loving it. And the whole point is, and she prepares a report for me
Mhm.
every time that I do a conference. She's waiting for me, giving me the list of everything that I say incorrect. Look, you said present when it was past. You misspelled this. You want to say this word and you said another one. So, um, but I think that the secret why people like it is exactly what you said. Keep it real,
Yes.
and our imperfections can be our best friend. And
Yeah.
sometimes this is what people need to know. I think I happen to discover that people like my conferences, and they want to learn about public speaking and how grow the business from me because I don't know, I'm bold, chubby, not good looking. I got a lot. I got a lot of imperfections, so people feel more comfortable learning from someone that have some imperfection, right?
Yeah.
That's someone that is actually perfect. I mean, I'm even a little bit shabby, you know. Um, so I think that Chris, this is the message that we should send out there to everyone that had that fear of stopping and start working with you. For example, I
Mhm.
think that the product you have is fantastic, and I think anybody's listening to it to this broadcast and want to start the podcast, just do it. Yeah, you need
Yes.
support. I'm about to ask you that, Chris. Actually, how if people want to start the podcast, how they can find you, how this process work. But also, you see, if we want to achieve great things in line, we need a coach, we need a mentor, we have to make
Yeah.
sure somebody that had done it before can help us out. So, and the other thing is that if you're not doing the podcast, if you're not speaking, if you're in business, you know what happened? Your competitors are doing it.
Exactly.
Uh, don't let don't let fear go on your ways of your dreams. And
Yeah.
if you need help with that, definitely Chris can help you or can help you whatever you feel. But just go for it. So Chris, how people can find you, how the process work,
Yeah.
and tell us
Sure.
so everybody knows.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to reiterate what you just said about being real. The word I like to use is vulnerable. You know, if you show a vulnerability, people automatically like you more. You know, and I know it's hard. It's scary to be vulnerable and to be open and to say, look, you know, I don't really like this or I'm afraid of this. And but but you'll find it works. And so to answer your question about how people can reach me, my website, freshmediaworks.com. You can find me there, and it's got a way to set up a free phone call, and we can talk about what it is you need. And there's no cost for that ever. I've always told people information is free. I will tell you step by step everything you need to do, never charge you a penny. Uh, if you want me to do some of it, yes, then we'll have to charge. But but yeah, we definitely love helping people get out there because it's such a powerful medium. It is so powerful right now that, you know, 5 years ago, I wouldn't have told everybody podcasting is the way to go. But today it is 100%. If you're not doing it, do it. If you're still unsure, become a guest on shows. Uh, Getting in front of other people's audiences is a great tool. Right now, I'm in front of your audience. That, you know, that's huge. You know, you talk about the millions of people who tune into yours. Now my message has gotten to millions of people. So at the very least, become a guest. We've got a guesting service. We can help you find a good podcast that fits your audience. And then, you know, even if you don't want to be a guest, you don't want to do your own show, you need to be advertising on shows because it is such a great return on advertising spend. It's just so inexpensive to find your perfect audience, target your perfect message, and make sales or get new clients, whatever it is your goal is. So It's all on the website, freshmediaworks.com. And I'm easy to get in touch with. My name is spelled funny. Last name's pronounced Daly, but it's Doelle. You look for Chris Daly online, anywhere you can find me.
Follow us for more interviews with world's most influential, audacious entrepreneurs that overcame challenges and adversity, providing you with the blueprint of how they sold their first million so you can grow your business exponentially.